Okay, that's it for the video. And now we'll start our session with Buyati. As you guys know, our previous inspirational speaker is her, Buyati Kun, with her awesome experience with more than 25 years experience in hospitality industry. And I think you guys already know about her and with how with how awesome her insights for us, her speaking, her knowledge for us in the previous meeting. Now maybe we can continue our last session. Now we jump into our part two with her, and yeah, maybe I will jump to the Q&A session. Previously, we asked her about the first question, and maybe I will jump to the second question, which is question. During your tenure as director of process improvement and development at Intercontinental Bali Resort, what was one significant process improvement you implemented, and how did it impact the overall performance of and efficiency of the organization? Buyati.
Okay, all right. So I was basically hired and I stayed with them for 2 years. And then my focus in in my division, which is a new created this division in the Intercontinental on that time. So the GM was a very aggressive guy, and he always want to be the top in the game. Very tough for GM, and he needs somebody like on the right hand. And then so he created a quality department, and then it called process improvement and development until now still exists. So my project on that time was to create first vision, mission, and core values for the Intercontinental, where everybody in the same page, the same direction. So, and the motto is still exists until now is our guest wants to return. So that was my first thing, like my project. And then after that, I work on the project of resort call center, which basically is like we make like one stop button in the rooms that they only just call these numbers and then they can ask anything. So this is a new things in the company, even in the Intercontinental Hotel company. And then they benchmark this one. So I think it still exists right now. So they call it resort call center. So the process to make it this one is from the hiring process. I make the new system, how to select the talents, the SOP and all the, the service sequence, the SOP and all the details is a brand new. And then the next one is like upgrade the club floors. The club floors on that time was just a club floors, kind of little bit like old property, but kind of like premium products. And then the new GM wants to make it like current now, like bright. So basically I have to make like some benchmark comparison with the competitors on that time as a part of my job to do the R&D. And then we change the concept for the club floors, and we make the concept, we call it like service from the heart. So we again strict selected the themes, create the service sequence, the SOP, the training, and etc. So we launched that one. And after that, basically we upgrade the spa level, and then the Japanese restaurant. And then, of course, in the same times, I also have like running quality improvement teams based on of the guest feedbacks and the staff feedbacks. So beside that big projects, I also still have like a lot of meetings, project by projects, based on of division, what is their weakness and strength based on of the internal and external guest feedbacks. And on top of that, I also have to create communication tools for the teams, because on that time, there's no SaaS communication. It's only just one communication where the GM tells something, screams something in the morning, to the leaders, and after that, like dissolve. So I created kind of like a daily flyers where everybody is being trained, educated in 10 or 15 minutes with that leaders, where there is like quote, there is like, the hotel product or our core values, mission and a vision, the energizer and other things. So it's a piece of papers, but they have to start that one before they start the briefing, So, and that is daily, and also I'm also involved in the human resources on that time, and especially they have a very strong unions. Yeah, so it was a very very challenging, exciting for me, because I work project by project and different projects. So for me, if each project I learn something, expand something, stretch something, it's just like, like a doctor, like you have a different patient, and then you have to really like, okay, how I can cure this, patient. That's how I see it, so, and it's only just 2 months, and then the rewards was the GM was become the best GM in the SG, yeah, Intercontinental Hotel. And then the resort also was named as the best hotels in the company, so it was really 24 hours working. So I cannot make a baby on that time. Yeah, so it's like telephone all the time. Lucky I was no baby at that time, so I can be crazy. Going home like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, So I sleep
Wow.
7 o'clock, eating in front of the computers. I have my personal PA, like look after everything. I only just run the meeting by meeting, back to back all the time. So it was stressing, but it was like really mind-blowing experience for me.
That was awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a lot of
And
a
I
lot
think
of
this
work.
one is still, I think this one still exists until now, because the quality division still exists over there.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see. Wow, 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 wow.
you know.
That's that's great.
Next question.
Okay, and we're gonna jump to the next question. Given your extensive 25-year career in a renowned hospitality industry in Bali, how have the skill and insights gained from the experience shaped your approach to running your own property? Which is, yeah,
Oh, this is a
uh,
different one. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Given your extensive, okay. You know what? When you have like so much thing in your brain, like you are so, like already. You can smell it. Like when I go to the hotel, from my first step after the gate, I already smell it, what is going on with this property, right? When I go to the lobby, how the staff dressing, how the way they greet, the way this, the way that, I already can smell it, what is going in behind their back. When I go to the restaurant and I eat this and that, like I already know it because I was there. I'm a surgeon, So sometimes you don't complicated things, when you see in reality, because like in the hospitality industry, things change, people change, customers change, they need change. So if you compare 2024 and compare to the early 20, and then in the 90s is absolutely totally different, and our customer is different, and it's more simpler. Because why? Because the technology, people is more, I mean, like they're smarter, they're more genius. You don't have to talk much with the customers, because everything you have Gaia, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Like I type something, truth. Oh my God, what is the soul of this service? It's a fantastic, don't get me wrong, okay? But Gaia is a fantastic lady, but sometimes as a human, we need a soul, right? So
Yep.
your question here, like how you approach to running your own property. Well, first, I would like to thank you to you all, because I opened July 12th, and then July 13th, I have like 6 guys in front of my gate. I didn't know that they're gonna check in for a night after the party, but then it's a full, you know. And then I mean, I met them, okay, and they were happy. And then after that, and on and on and on, there is always a guest. So, thank you so much to your fantastic job. Now, what is my approach? My approach when I decided to join Bukit Vista, not only because I know the amazing Wayan and Pak Zing and the professionalism of you and the humbleness, the honest. This is what we need in the current business right now. Okay, we don't need so much blah, in this current situation, because our customer is so smart, so genius. They click away, they make comparison. Sometimes money is not a problem. They just want to have like, okay, I want to have instant service. I just want to go to the beach. Okay, I want to just check in into the clean rooms, nice one, like a good host. But then I just go out with motorbike. This kind of type, my customers, my type. Okay, so So my approach is way much simpler. Okay, so make sure that the quality of cleaning has to be on the top of it. You see, right? About the amenity, I buy a nice banana and apple actually, right? The good one, okay? But I noticed that they don't really eat it, this European, So I changed into giving to snacks, right? So I just want to give them honest approach, nice, and especially most of them I notice, closing to the month, half months, I make like some, comparison. I meet them actually in a person to give a little bit a soul. They love, they love it because they're European, right? They like the, like the design, very simple, very chic, very clean, a good linen, and that's it. And after that, they just busy, finish.
Yep.
So I'm not fussy. So my approach is a simple, make them happy, not too much, not too less. Just that's it. As long as they give me five.
As long as they give you price, right? That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should also check for another guest because they're all happy with us here.
Yep.
I asked them to, can you just, I know how to play with, when to stop and something. So
Yeah, that's great. That's your game, right? Okay, okay. That's Thank you for the answer, and that's a great answer for us. It's a lot of insight, a lot of knowledge we learned today. Maybe I will.
I didn't say anything. I'm just sharing.
No, no, that's a great sharing. That's a great. Mm, I was, oh, I'm speechless.
Yeah.
Okay, I will let everybody here ask Bu Yeti personally. Just raise your hand if you have a question.
Please ask me anything,
Yeah,
anything.
very, very open. Just raise your hand and ask your question. Okay, Kak Furkan, you may ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Wendy. Hello, Bu Yeti. So I would like to ask regarding the second question. So Wendy, if you go back to the previous slide.
Yep.
You are basically in charge in terms of the quality delivery in the intercontinental Bali resort. So I'm wondering what were the metrics that you used to measure the quality delivery that you delivered to the guests.
Oh, okay. So, like in the quality world, especially in the hotel, it's not so many actually in the hotels. What I know is only Intercontinental and then there is Carlton. No other brand they're using this quality method. We call it like total quality management. You have to really pass the training courses, before you become the quality manager or director. So you have to understand how to solve the problem using, when it's a 6-step process, a 9-step cycle, like what is solving the guest problem and then producing a new services product. So there is competencies, a skill, knowledge, attitude toward these modules. You see, so you have to expert in this first before you become one. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, the tools. The tool is basically is like when I was there, I introduced the system of filtering, we hiring the staff. Before they only just interview, okay, this is good, the CV is good. No, I changed it that we filter the people based on of their talents. So that is very good because it's helping us with a lot of process improvement. Number two is like we are using the Gallup satisfaction survey. I think Jing knows because it's like an American company. Most of big company using that. So the Gallup system is like they really asking the question based on of whatever the guest experience in that hotel, and then they normally call the guest after maximum 10 days after the stay, because when the guests stay, they leave, they still have like a honeymoon mood. But when you call between 8 to 10 days, they start like going back to their hometown, they start recollecting, and they give a honest feedback. So we are using that Gallup feedbacks. So there is like a very sophisticated system, very detailed. Yeah. send it to the property, right? And then for the staff, we have a engagement survey for the staff. We do it like once a year. And then internally we also have a guest feedback, and they write down, like this typical manual, tick 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 in the rooms. And then my staff gonna collect into my office, and then like make summary, and from that summary then basically we created a quality improvement process based on of the feedback on that division or that department. So we have all the data, then basically we cook it.
Wow, very comprehensive. Thank you very much, Bu Yeti, for your explanation.
Yeah. Is that answer your question?
Yes, that is answering my question.
Hit the target. Next.
Thank you, Gafurkan, for the question. Any other
Yes,
question?
you can ask me anything about love life, about young people. Okay.
Yep, Mr. Jing, you may.
Okay. I'll ask a question, but I would like the people here at Bukit Vista to ask Yeti a question. It's not every day that we get somebody like Yeti here. So please, if you really want to positively transform, think about something you would like to ask somebody who's done a lot of it. Ibu Yeti, okay, here's my question. So, well, number one, I've been observing, and I think you have amazing humility. And I mean that in the actual way humility is actually understood. So you're grateful, you're thankful, you know limitations, and then I think you also even seek those who can help you. You know you can't do it alone, which is pretty, I think, vital. And you share too, and you uplift other people too. That's something also I think I see in people who are successful. You've worked with probably some of the most successful people in the world, right? The owners of those hotels are billionaires. What qualities do you see in them that are rare or not often found in other people, you think?
Okay. Well, I'm a very, very lucky because I started my career in the hospitality with the legends. So
Yes.
with the legends, yes, with the legend, which is now it's a very rare to find the legends. If you know about Mr. Hortsulsi, the president of Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah, Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah. So he was my mentor, because Ritz-Carlton here was the first baby.
Wow.
So
you
I
learned
was,
from Horst.
yeah, he was my
Wow.
dad, like he really mentoring me. So I copy his principle, doing the outstanding thing, no mediocre. If you want to become a tukang bakso, then become the best tukang bakso in Uluwatu. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to become, if you want to become orang yang sapu-sapu jalan, okay, you have to become the outstanding tukang sapu-sapu jalan. You see, the point is that you have to be bold, you have to be outstanding. What make you different than others? And that is my principle also. So I can't live in the very mediocre things when it comes to that. And that's Mr. Hortsusi. The second one is the Mr. Herfer Emler, which is his assistant, and he's also a giant guys right now. I think he still exists. Mr. Sulsi also. And after that, Mr. Klavels, the vice president of the luxury in the hospitality, until now still exists. These people is the legends. And then I meet trainers, world-class trainers, from America mostly, because Ritz-Carlton is, American company, married American company. So in the conference, what I attended in the past, a lot of training that we always have like world-class, writer, world-class. So I only have a world-class trainers. So they're like my how can I say, like my gurus, I would say. And then talking about, like I also dealing with the owners, with the Bulgari owners, because I'm in charge for the human resources, and also with the Intercontinentals, and also with the Ritz-Carlton. It's all the owners, right? And then I'm going to come back to your question soon, okay? The things that I find it with these top people, also with Nihi Sumbaya, the things with these top legend peoples, you don't believe it, that they're like super, super humble. I give an example. They really appreciate the grassroots. They really appreciate the staff that running their business. They really appreciate the little things. They really talk their heart in the very simple way but meaningful. I give an example. You know, like when I open the Bulgari, the owner said to me like, Yeti, you know, we are a big brand, so just follow whatever the you know, like the government wants, and then make sure that the staff happy. Whatever you need, just come to me. We talk like that, you see. And then when I'm talking with the owners of the 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 Ritz Carlton, okay, Pak Rudy, he also loved me
Oh,
so much.
Rudy.
Back, yeah,
So we want,
you know, like, yeah, because I trained his, you know, company in Jakarta back then. You know, he also come to me like, Yeti, whatever you need to make these properties shining, staff really have a very good quality, you just let me know what you want. So I always get that support. And also when I was in the Intercontinental, the GM also like, Yeti, what you need? You know, I'm gonna make you a new division, a new office, whatever you want, technology, tools, people, PA, whatever you want, just make it happen as long as you give like end result like wow. You see what I mean? So I'm not talking about money in here, but these people, number one, they're very
good
supportive.
owners.
Number two, they are very trust in me, trust, yeah, basically, yeah, okay. And then number three is like they're like so open and honest, you know. So we know what they want, you know. They're not acting like no, 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 no. I
No
never.
Bobby Chapuis.
Yeah. And also with me, his Sumba, even more humble, super humble. Yeti, you know, we are in Sumba, you know, our hotel is the most expensive one in Indonesia, the best one in the world. And the people is 90%, they don't speak English, you know, they are all the local people. You have super simple people, you know, but they are the authenticity what make it like shining of Sumba, you see. So it's a different approach again. And the owner said like, just don't use sophisticated things that you have. Please drop all the knowledge you have. Just be with them, talk in the village with them, like them, you know. So it's different approach, you see. But back
That's
again,
amazing.
they are like super, super humble, so human, because we are dealing with human, right? In the people
Correct.
business. That's it.
I have a fun follow-up question because I think a lot of young people, when they think about humility,
Yeah.
they might have actually the wrong idea about what humility is. They think maybe it's about using pots or, you know, just showing a lot of respect. I have a different idea of what I think humility is, but I'm very curious what your idea of humility is. What is the essence of humility? What is humble to you? Like, and what could maybe a younger person misunderstand about humility? Ooh.
You know what? Until now, I'm still being not being, you know, like a visiting lecturer or visiting speaker
Me
to the university. And you know, honestly speaking, like, oh my God, yeah, I'm talking about Indonesian young generation. You know, like I think the values doesn't change much because the way we up, you know, like we were raised in the same values, you know, compared to other continents. Sometimes I'm set in that way, but back again to humility is that um you know, like Indonesian people, we, you know, Jing, right? We already inside us, we have love, we have warm things inside us because we were raised with the beautiful, very tight community, family values that we respect the guests. You know that, right? We don't have to polish it. Compared if we are talking about in the Swiss hotels or in the Oxford, in Cambridge hospitality system, you know, they don't have that concept in their brain, but we have it in the nerve system, right? So the because our business is in Indonesia and this is a young Indonesian people, it's like when we are talking about humility, you know, like I always believe like this: we are a humanized people. That's it. That's my principle. When I'm talking about humanized people, is like you know, you have, regardless who you are, what you are, how high you are, go down into the level and try to understand them, you know, and they
Well done.
speak,
Well done.
and they speak. And this is my approach as a quality director in order for them to speak. Why? Because our people, they don't speak, Jing. They don't
Yeah.
speak. They already afraid because the leveling in our family is like grandma is always right, father is always right, mother is always right, auntie and uncle also is right. They are old, they never study, but they're always right. You see what I mean? I'm actually very genius, but
I can tell. Yeah, I know you're a genius.
not me. I'm talking about in the family, the young
Okay.
generation, maybe they study abroad, this and that. When they come back to the family and they know it more than their seniors,
Yeah.
but the senior is like acting like that and make them, the respect doesn't make them speak. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
then the true thing is not out. Yeah. Now,
Right.
my approach is always the same. Either it's Carlton, Intercon, Bulgari, always people matters. You know,
Of
so
course.
if you look at in my LinkedIn, people matters because it's complicated people, but to handle them is super simple. Just put them in the same level, whoever, whatever you are talking to, you
Mhm.
know, and then go inside to their brain and then put yourself into their shoes
Amazing.
and then talking, man. You know, when, do you believe it or not, when I have a meeting with the Goa Lempeh street people, you know, at the Bulgari, because they can block the Bulgari anytime, right? You know,
Yeah,
that,
and they do.
you know what? I'm just like in the grass with them, like pretending I'm a gardener too, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
otherwise they don't talk. That's the way my approach.
Okay.
In
Excellent.
any ways, in any ways, even to my nanny or wherever. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Yeti. Thank you. That's
Francis,
lecturing
answer
here.
your question. Answer your question, yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. 100%. And well, that's Yeti, everybody. I guess that's why we inspire delight, and she's probably one of the best examples of any inspirational speaker we've had.
I'm
Yeah.
the ibu pakai
And for the second time too, a follow-up. Maybe you should be the permanent inspirational speaker here. We just have you come by all the
Yeah,
time.
I
Okay,
agree.
I have a bonus basically.
Oh, you do? Okay, all
No,
right.
no, I have a bonus for you guys because you're doing great job. Jing,
Okay.
just invite me the best time for your team that really can, you know, like maybe we can do like kind of little fun things, you know, like round
Yeah.
table or whatever.
October dinner
Yeah,
Thursday.
whatever. You know, can we have a powerful breakfast? You know,
Yeah.
can be a powerful
Yeah.
breakfast because
Come. Okay.
by the beach or whatever. I do that in the Sumba. Do you believe it? I have a Sumba
I
with the
believe you. I
Sumba
believe
people with the
everything
nasi
you
bungkus.
say.
No, with
Yeah.
the nasi bungkus, and I'm wearing their traditional dress. You don't believe it that they're with all the
I
fun.
believe you. You don't need
You
to.
see?
Yeah, I'm your follower.
We can do that in the humble ways.
Okay. Okay. Well, listen, everybody. Yeti's already invited you to come to Bali, hang out with her, and have breakfast with her. Maybe dinner too on Thursdays. So I think it's very humble again, once again, to offer so much knowledge and wisdom to people. So don't be shy, okay? If you guys are out there sitting in Surabaya, Jakarta, wherever you are, come and meet Yeti. She's a legend, and her oral traditions need to be learned by the new generation, I think, because this is gold. Okay. All right. Well, let me get,
Old school.
no. Eternal school. I
Come
think.
to my
Yeah.
house. I have a beautiful house. I live alone here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, since you
Yeah.
asked, we'll show up now.
Yeah, you
Bring everybody there.
just bring like apa, whatever grill or whatever. You know, it's you know, like this one, okay? So you can
Wow.
stay here, you know, and then
Yeah, I see why we need help with our office. Yes.
you see, we can play here if you want, like football, whatever.
Okay.
So
Fantastic.
let's talk heart to heart. That's it. Be
Okay.
human. Be human.
Yeti is amazing. We're so privileged to have her live in our neighborhood. Because she's like one in a million. 1 in a billion. 1 in a billion people are like Yeti. Okay, let me give it back to Wendy.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Jing, and thank you, Buyeti, for your answers. I think that's all for that. And again, thank you very much for your knowledge and insight, Bu Yeti. Next, we have our all hands meeting, and you're very welcome to stay. But if you have something to do, you are also welcome to leave to do your activities, Bu Yeti. And again, very, very thankful to have you for our inspirational speaker today. Twice, and that's a lot. We
Many
learn a
times
lot
more,
from you.
hopefully. Yeah.
You're sorry, Bu Yeti. I think you're still muted. Bye,
Okay.
Bu Yeti. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. See you, Yeti. If she's got to go. I have another thing to say positively about Ibu Yeti that is very personal to me, in fact. I don't know if you guys know this, but I just realized just right now that the reason I'm in front of all of you guys today as your CEO has a lot to do with Ibu Yeti's work at the Intercon. Okay, I'll piece it together for you guys. Okay, so when I first came to Bali, Erica was like you, right? I was a salesperson. Well, first I was like video as an engineer. Okay, not as good as video as an engineer, but you know I tried, right? And then when I came to Bali, I worked in hospitality, specifically in sales, because I'm such a good talker, right? So anyway, this company hired me, but I was paid almost nothing, and I was given a commission if I sold anything. Okay, so every day I had to hustle. Every day was hustle, and at that point I think Eka was already on the way. When I got married, and yeah, it was a family with a kid on the way. So I really needed it to sell. I really needed it to sell, right? And I got pretty lucky because my first customer was Johan. I don't know if you guys know who Johan yet. Any guys who've been here a bit longer will know him. He's the owner of Villa Chapung. And he decided to buy a villa that I was representing at the time. And he was staying at the Intercon. He was staying at the Intercon, and he invited me over to sign the contract for the deal. And we met at the club Yeti was talking about. So Yeti was operating their club at the time. It was a perfect, very luxurious, very, very nice setting. And we agreed on the terms, the price of the property, and they bought it. Because they bought that property, I was able to support my family. And because I was able to support my family, I was able to live in Bali. And because I was able to live in Bali, then Bukit Vista eventually happened. Okay, so in a very funny way, yeah, I do owe Yeti a debt of something, right, for providing that space where that deal could happen. Yeti gave a very, very great observation about success, and I think I'm beginning to understand this more and more as I get older. So it's strange, but humility is so important. Those of you who mentor people will probably see that, because the mentor-mentee relationship usually breaks at the point where the mentee's glass is full. There's nothing more I can teach you. You seem to know everything at this point, so you probably need to go and find a different mentor at this point, okay? But if you keep your glass empty, and generally, if you want to, I guess, really rise up as far as possible, your glass should always be empty, right? Because there's always something you can learn from anybody. Then I think that's the driving force of this humility. And I absolutely agree. Yeti, by the way, is extremely humble. Extremely humble. Not in her speech, but in her actions, because of this. She has, 20 years of hospitality experience. She knows that she can't do it alone in this era. If anybody could think that they could do it alone, it's probably her, right? She's got all this experience, Bulgaria, Intercon, everything. I can do this alone. I can figure this out, and I'm just going to go make my own money. But she doesn't. She finds allies. She finds people, because she knows that maybe she doesn't know. She then employs us, trusts us, just like the way the owners trusted her, and she does this correctly. Those of you who've been working here long enough probably have already seen a lot of owners don't believe that, and they think they're the shit after a year, and then they go off on their own, and then they fail, because I always track them afterwards, right? And then they fail, and then they become not humble enough to ever come back and say, hey, look, you guys were right. You were doing a better job than I can. Would you like to manage my property again? Very rarely do I ever get that. But that's also a lack of humility, a lack of understanding that there are people who understand things that you might understand, and you should employ them rather than compete with them. Okay? So anyway, Yeti's a legend. So I hope that we'll see a lot more of her. I hope that you guys will have great questions for her, because she can definitely teach us all something. Now, I know I'm taking up a lot of time today, but it's okay, all right? Because we're okay. We're doing really good. So there's no emergencies. We can relax a little bit, and I'll tell you what the good news is, okay? I usually have bad news, but today we have some good news, okay? I'll let the further good news be brought up by Marcel, Kyla, Bella, the rest of some of the senior management team, Gani as well, okay? And Vidi. I think we're doing fine, okay? There's only good news today, or mostly good news, okay? Hospitality, amazing, okay? 82.4, congratulations, everybody. Back up a bit, okay? Thank you, everybody, for putting in the hard work, but we're back up. We went down a little bit, 2 points last, whatever, but we're fine now, okay? Now, automation. This was automation back in April, mostly red, and as you can see, not that great. Automation right now today looks great. Green is good, okay? So the more green, the better the company is doing, and the more likely we're able to scale. So these are our 2 strategic points. This point is going very well. Next, revenue. So the burn down chart goes down, down, down. And by the way, if those that haven't noticed, we reached our revenue target. Congratulations, everybody. Yes? All right, no, why are you happy, okay? All right, great. Show your support, show your love, Marcel. Everybody's looking at Marcel wondering, should I be happy if he's not happy, right? No, that's just Marcel's resting bitch face, right? That's the way he looks all the time. So anyways, I'm sure Marcel's happy at the bottom of his heart, and so are we. So do celebrate. It wasn't easy to get here. Many of us didn't think that we could possibly even reach this target, probably at the beginning of the month, but we have, and it wasn't possible unless everybody put in, okay? So thank you very much. We've reached our target now. All right. Last all hands, the monthly goals are on track, semester goals off track, hospitality was slightly falling, new AUM is rising and growing. Now, I would say that revenue goals are progressing, okay? They're not perfect yet, but we are progressing. We're hitting some marks, okay? Hospitality is rising, and the new amount of revenue is coming in fast and coming in consistently, so that's good, all right? There's still much more we need to do. Gani will tell you about all the deficits on his release trains coming up, but it is, at least I think we're moving. At least there is a train, right? Before it was like, is there a train? Is there a station? Where do we go? So keep the focus. Once again, we already know what we need to focus on. We need to focus on sales supervision and queue supervision. We need to focus on decisive and empathetic hospitality policies. And we need to do exploratory data analysis. I mean by the policy also in the automation, okay, as well. That's covered, okay? So it's not like I don't see the engineers. They are there. Last all hands, we talked about AI personhood, and this concept was pioneered at Bukit Vista. I do see we are believing in AI personhood, and this has been helpful, okay, for us to understand how to actually work with our new AI entity here. We talked about the historical payback. Wouldn't it be great if we could get back to colonize Holland with Indonesian innovation, okay? And then let's talk about the third problem now. We talked about this a few weeks back. Let me illustrate the third part of this 3-part strategic misunderstanding, which is adding more. So I want to actually show you a small problem and show you how it becomes a big problem. Some of you have seen this already. Some of you have not. For those of you that haven't, please follow along. I'll show you what the problem is, okay? We get inspection reports for property quality control from housekeepers every day, right? So the housekeeper will send a picture on BVGO saying, this is the villa being ready, okay? Now, interesting problem. What should we do? Should we say nothing? Well, if you say nothing, will they keep on reporting? They'll feel like they're just talking to an empty person who doesn't care, okay? So saying nothing is not acceptable. You have to say something, okay? Now, what should we say? Well, we could look at the pictures, take a look at them, say, oh, that looks really good. Okay, good job. Looks like it's clean now, right? But what's the problem now? The problem now is this. Problem now is if you say good job and you look at the pictures, you have accepted liability for the housekeeper's work, right? Because now they think you're their supervisor and you approve the pictures. So therefore, any problems that will happen later on, well, that's not their problem anymore. They've already shown you the pictures. And so then we go down the rabbit hole, right? So then the next thing is we need more people to look at pictures, and then after a while, somebody will make a suggestion, a brilliant idea. They'll say, oh, we should need an AI image checker, right? So that we don't need to do this manual work so much. So then the engineers will start creating that, and then we'll go down, we'll add that feature, and then eventually, for whatever reason, one day the server somewhere will not work, and that thing will break, and then the confirmation to say that, yes, great job, will not be sent, and then the housekeeper will be like, well, that's your problem, you didn't approve my pictures, okay? And somehow, that problem will land on engineer scope, because, well, it's because the server didn't work, and that's an engineering problem, right? But the problem is, you shouldn't have accepted this problem in the first place, right? Should not have said whatever. What you should say is, great photos, love it. Keep on sending complete photos. If the guest ever complains that there's a problem, I'm happy to defend you with these photos, okay? Push the liability or give the liability correctly back to the housekeeper because they're the person who can fix it. Don't try to automate it. Don't try to accept it. It's their job to keep the cleanliness score high, and that's it, okay? So we don't need to engineer anything. We don't need to create a new feature. We don't need to do all this stuff and then be responsible for it doesn't work. We just need to say, no, we won't invent something new, okay? The right way is to give the responsibility to the right person. Okay, so many of you probably don't know what the thing on the right is. If you did, then maybe you like studying technology history, but the thing on the right was a BlackBerry. The BlackBerry, everybody thought was amazing because it had a keyboard on the BlackBerry. That was a feature. There was a keyboard on the BlackBerry. And when the other thing came out, it was called the iPhone, which is basically the model for all modern smartphones now. The biggest complaint was no keyboard, right? I don't know if you can ask your parents if you weren't alive during that time, but that was the biggest complaint, no keyboard. Turns out, nobody needed a keyboard anyway, all right? Your phones don't have keyboards on them. In fact, you can probably talking to your phone right now and just recognize your voice. So, Apple, innovation, BlackBerry, I guess not so much, okay? So the point I want to make is this. Once again, this is understanding the mission of the company a little bit better. We innovate through hospitality innovations that positively transform guest partners and employees to inspire delight. Sometimes an innovation isn't adding a new feature. Sometimes a good innovation is removing a feature, okay? Or removing something that shouldn't even be there in the first place. And that is, once again, hopefully inspirational to everybody here because it's a little bit counterintuitive, just like the AI personhood thing we talked about last week. Sometimes it's not, oh, let's put in new software, let's add AI. Sometimes it's let's reduce. Sometimes it's thinking of a new way of managing a new humanity or a new structure or a new way of personhood, okay? Innovation doesn't always mean that you've invented a physical thing like technology. Sometimes it's you removed something. Sometimes it's that you've given clarity to a concept that didn't have any clarity before, okay? So the reason I'm telling you all that is to show you and help everybody here understand the mission of the company and what it is the purpose of what we do all the time, okay? Through practical example. So, whoops, I forgot to update my slides. So sorry about that. Anyways, the rest of the slides are just the typical things we talk about. All right, let me just jump over here. Let's go over to the goals, okay? So the revenue goals are the same. 3 million for a revenue goal, overall percentage of 4.8, 5-star rating of 80%, okay? And 5x bonuses if the company achieves all the goals and the 3 million target from April 1st to September, okay? And 1 revenue goal and 2 hospitality goals, 5x, 1 revenue goal and 1 hospitality goal, 3x. And if we don't reach the revenue goal, then there is no bonus, okay? All right, that's it. I hand over to the next person and they can hopefully continue the celebrations.
Okay, you can pass it to Sarah, sir.
Okay, to Sarah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jing. So, Wendy, I think we can start on the code document.
Okay.
Please share the screen. All right. So the first one would be the vision and mission statement that will be delivered by Kak Furkon. The floor is yours, Kak.
Okay, thank you very much, Kak Sarah. By the way, I would like to clarify that this session is not a vision and mission statement because it was previously delivered by Mr. Jing. So yeah, it should be hospitality and revenue target achievement. But thank you very much, Sarah, for giving me the floor. So, hello everyone. My name is Furqan, and I would like to deliver this hospitality and revenue achievement target. So, Wendy, next slide, please. As usual, that we understand that this is our revenue and also hospitality target for this semester, so we can skip that and move directly into the hospitality target achievement. Okay. The first metrics, accuracy. So good job to the marketing team. We got bumped up by 0.8% increase from last week. Congratulations. And next slide, we already got a bump up again by 0.4% on the check-in metrics, on the second metrics. So a very good job to all the GS and also on-site team. The same increase number, 0.4% on the third metrics, cleanliness. So good job to all property managers, housekeepers, and also the on-site team. Next. And then communication, the fourth metric, a very, very stable increase, and now hitting the fourth consecutive week increase by 0.8% from last week now. And so kudos to all the engineers metrics to improve Gaya and also the EHA by Kamarsel and the team. And then location, now increase 1%, the most significant increase of this week. From 71.8% to 72.8%. Very significant. Thank you very much for the team involved. And last metric, the one that is the one metric that is not increasing this week, which is value, but very stagnant still from the past 3 weeks on to 80.1%. Okay. So in conclusion, until today, we already hit 81.9% 5-star rating and 4.73 overall rating. So kudos to the team involved. And yeah, amazing. And Wendy, let's move on into the next part, which is revenue target achievement. This week, we finally hit the target of 2.1 million. Revenue, and we are now closing in July and moving on to the August. So we now only have 2 months left to complete the revenue target achievement on $3 million USD. So let's move it, guys. So that's all the report. Thank you very much, Kasara. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Kak Furqan. Yes, let's keep up the good work, yeah, guys. So like 2 more months for the revenue target. Right. So for the weekly mission inspiration, we have some from the marketing team and engineering team. And first one is the engineering team, the marketing team. Sorry, for their innovations that positively transform our guests. I will give the floor to Mas Hafiz. Please deliver the innovation for 30 seconds. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Sarah. So, where is it? Weekly mission inspiration. So, after several months of developing the Bukit Vista magazine, it is now printed and distribution has begun. And we are currently distributing it to 10 villas with low location score, and the process is ongoing. And the list of villas is I write on the report. And special thanks to Radit and Caca for assisting with the magazine design, and Nadia for helping with the printing of the magazine, and Sarah for assisting with the distribution of the magazine to villas. Thank you, guys. Kudos to you.
Thank you so much, Mas Hafiz. Okay, very exciting, yeah. For our very own BV magazine. All right, so for the next one is the innovations that positively transform our partners. For Kak Nadia, please deliver the updates within 30 seconds.
Okay, can you hear me? Sorry, I got a poor signal. Okay, sorry, I got a poor signal, everyone, so I'm sorry. So the first one is actually about the partnership in Lemanja. So we actually just recently strengthening our partnership with Lemanja. So we put like some kind of travel acrylic on their cashier table, and also we put the partnership physical sign on the road of the site for the offline marketing purpose. So anyone, if you're in Bali and would like to enjoy your time at Lemanja, so don't forget to show at the cashier that you are a BV employee and get like a 10% off as well. So yeah, and the next one is maybe I just continue on. So the next one is about the investment plan user interviews recap for the Virgin Beach Hotel project. So yeah, we've been doing several interviews with some people, including our guests. And to make the reporting easy, we made a recap video to summarize all the interviews. So if you want to check out the video, you can click on the link provided there. And the next one is about the currently ongoing partnership about a new restaurant actually in Pararenan called Fuego. So yeah, it's currently in the partnering process. So they actually provide lunch, dinner. They have some occasional event, and also they have pottery class coming soon. So I hope in the future we can give more inspired delight experience to our guests in Canggu or Pararenan area. Thank you. Back to you, Sarah.
All right, thank you so much, Kak Nadia. Lots of partnership updates, yeah, very exciting. Okay, the next one would be for the engineering team. To Kak Krishna, please deliver the innovation through technological innovation. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. I have a couple of announcements. First of all, we are pleased to announce that we have partially implemented automation for community manager across several categories. We will provide an update with the next second of release, which is the final release on the next Friday. Additionally, we acknowledge that we have certain connectivity issue with Gaia Community Manager automation. Therefore, we have equipped Ask Anything with the same ability to serve as a backup in case we experience connectivity issue again in the future in Community Manager channel. Please, for now until next week, kindly submit your finding, any room of improvement to Project Gaia if you found any problem, any issue. Any report aimed to improve Community Manager channel would be prioritized at the top priority right now. That's the first announcement. Moving on to the second announcement. On the second announcement, I will give you the evaluation for vendor project. The evaluation was conducted over the last week with a sample size of 151 instances. Out of that sample, we found 22 suboptimal answers. Therefore, the reliability rate is around just 85%. Our SLA is 90%. Therefore, we will still create the next iteration to make it 90%. So if you also have any bugs related to extra service, maybe sending wrong vendor number, maybe sending wrong services, like decoration, but they give you maybe vendor for driver, for example, and other stuff around vendor, also report it to me and we will prioritize that by tomorrow. I think that's all. Back to Sarah.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Krishna, for especially ops team. Yeah, let's use the tools that have been innovated for us, and yeah, hopefully that can make our work more efficient. All right, so before moving on, I would just like to give a heads up that the all hands is being extended by maximum 20 minutes because it's we have lots of updates and exciting news. Yeah. All right, so yeah, let's move on to the company theme and target. For the July target, I'll deliver the floor to Kak Furkon.
Okay, thank you very much, Kak Sarah. So, guys, this is a very good news because we hit all of our OK target in this month. So, revenue target achieved, 5-star percentage achieved, overall rating achieved. So, please celebrate it while we are here in the all hands. But please note that starting from next month, I would like to encourage to all of you, every one of you, to please pay attention on our target, our in-month targets. Please pay attention to raw hands. Now, what our revenue target is, what our 5-star percentage target is, what our overall rating target is, because probably in the next month, HR will try to question, yeah, do some quick polling, either that you understand or not. Okay, so but this is the good. Today let's celebrate for this month, and as you can see, there already screenshots about the overall quality metrics and also the breakdowns of each metric that you can directly see there. So let's skip down directly to what our opportunities for July, but more into like our recap for July, yeah. Scroll down, Wendy. Correct, that part. Okay, so we have successfully met our revenue target for July with an occupancy rate of 68% so far this month. We've seen a 6% increase from last week. This includes 15% expired dates, 3% maintenance blocks, and 4% owner usage. Currently, 10% of nights remain available if we aim to exceed our target. For August, we're starting with a 29% occupancy rate, which is lower compared to the recent months, and 2% owner usage, leaving 69% of nights still available in our inventory. As we look ahead to the rest of the semester and our revenue goals, it is crucial to highlight the first full month revenue contribution from the new AUM, which have contributed approximately around 10,000 USD for August. To meet our semester objectives, we must enhance our efforts by implementing strategic milestones and monthly initiatives. So that's all the report that I can deliver. Thank you very much, Kayla, for compiling this report. And back to you, Kak Sarah.
All right, thank you so much, Kak Furkon. Once again, let's keep up the work and hustle as well. Okay, let's move on to core value recognition. So we have a bunch here, starting with Wahyu. He'll deliver two core
Yes,
value
great.
recognitions. Yeah, Wahyu, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kak Sarah. The first one, I would like to deliver my gratitude to Mr. Jing because he has been very helpful on the strategic update on the Virgin Beach. Previously, we're only using like simple structure for the investment strategy, and because of this high value investment strategy, he initiatively working on the framework and also developing the right structure and ended up the client, I think the client is very happy with the results. So thank you so much for Mr. Jing. I learned a lot from the investment strategy session.
Thank you, Wai.
And the second one is to Kak Bella and to Ko Fidi. Kak Bella and Kak Fidi always know, especially from Kak Bella, because we closely work together in revenue management team, that I'm lacking on the analysis itself and also the time management. As I'm still new on this field, Kak Bella shows me how should I approach the question that she oftenly asked, and I learned a lot from that. Besides that, Kak Fidi also helped me to uh, thinking more critically to make sure that we can achieve our monthly targets. So thank you so much to Kak Bella and Kak Fidi. I learned a lot from you guys, and hopefully I can learn a lot of more after this. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Wahyu, for recognizing Kabela, Kofidi, and Mr. Jing as well. All right, Wendy, could you exit out from the? Yeah, okay. So the next core value recognition will be delivered by Kak Bella. The floor is yours, Kak.
It's back to Wahyu. So, besides of the investment strategy and also the workflows going on, Wahyu was taking a day off on last Saturday, but however, we have to set the price for new property, right, according to the schedule. So, rather than see the works as the burden, Wahyu see as the responsibility, as the good example. No enforcement to keep online, yeah, please HR. I know enforce Wahyu, but it's a good example of Wahyu, yeah, especially. Thank you, Wahyu.
All right. The next one would be the core value recognition from Kak Erika to Kak Kayla. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Sarah. So I would like to recognize Kayla. So Kayla in BD has been a great help actually. She assists me with many things, especially because my weakness is I'm like in details and I have like such a big agreeableness. So she helped me to communicate better with the client, give example how to be strict but still fair to the clients, and also she shared a lot about her knowledge in operations. So thank you, Kyla. This also accelerate our quality in setting the right expectation to most of clients and also the confusion as well.
And the next few ones are still delivered by Kak Erika ya. So if you would, Kak.
Okay, I'll just continue till the end, yeah, Sarah. So this actually, I would like to recognize Wayana as well. So Wayana, she's been doing open canvassing, right? And actually, her ownership toward what she is doing and towards her result of the job, and she always push us and then say us that it's not about activity, but you need to also focus about the result. And she has a very high ownership towards the leads that she generates. So that's something that inspired me a lot. And then I think everyone in the company should also recognize this about her. And the next one, I would like to recognize Mr. Jing as well. So Mr. Jing has been my sales coach for I think more than 2 years, and recently I think he also got a lot of inspiration, and then she taught me sorry he taught me about the new sales pitch. So it's actually pretty hard to unlearn something that you've been doing for 2 years. So I'm currently learning how to maximize my performance with using the new sales pitch. So thank you so much, Mr. Jing. And the last one, I would like to also recognize Mas Rehan and Mas Gani. So Mas Rehan has been very proactive. Actually, he's been managing the HubSpot, right? And this is also something that I'm liking. So thank you so much for the team that's been completing me. Mas Rehan always follow up, eager to follow me up if there is any information in HubSpot or lack of information there. And also recently, I think Mas Gani and Mas Rehan initiate to reapproach old leads or closed deals that's lost, and then they invited all those leads to dinner, and then I think that the dinner is going to happen tonight. So I appreciate it, Mas Rehan and Mas Gani. Back to you, Sarah.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Erika. Lots of recognitions, yeah. The next one, I would give the floor to Kak Nadia as she's recognizing Matthew. The floor is yours, Kak.
Okay, thank you. So this actually for Matthew, even though he's not supposed to be here, he's actually on KKN, but I guess Matthew got bored sometimes, and he randomly helping cleaning or removing our past event on the Bali event calendar and even like add some events on it. So I would like to appreciate Matt for that. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Kak Nadia, for recognizing Matthew, even though he's not here. And moving on, we can see there's a core value recognition by Mas Krishna for Mas Adi. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. I would like to appreciate Ardi for his performance this week. He recently transitioned to AI developer subteam in engineering and has shown impressive adaptability. RD has also improved significantly in prioritizing tasks efficiently, even better than last month. Now, he consistently ensures that his work result in tangible impacts. So yeah, keep up the great work ya, Bang Ardi. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Kak Krishna. For the next one, we have core value recognition from Mas Rehan to Kak Marcel and Kak Bella. The floor is yours, Kak Rehan.
Okay, so I want to recognize Marcel and Bella for help others to help themselves, because Bella and Marcel welcome me to Bali with a full discussion about strategy. Sometimes it's boring, but respect and discuss some understanding about marketing and Bukit Vista in general. So I feel lucky to have the opportunity to discuss with Marcel and Bella. So kudos, respect.
Okay, thank you so much, Mas Rehan, and welcome to Bali. All right, the next one would be from Mas Gani to Mas Rehan. Floor is yours, Mas Gani.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Good morning, everyone. So I would like to recognize Rehan for growth mindset and fail fast and learn fast. So Rehan initial scope was digital marketing, but now he has grown into be more strategic by supplying high value guest list on roundtable talk. I know he might be not comfortable approach people, but I think it has significant impact towards common good. Bagus. Lanjut. Okay, that's it. Okay, again, next, next, I'd like to recognize Nadia for value or innovation. So Nadia has delivered a new type of new innovation on the partnership with La Manja Restaurant and Fuego, and also a lot of creative things during our photo shoot and stuff. So that's a good innovation, Nadia. But don't forget as a manager for supervision. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Mas Gani, for recognizing Kak Nadia and Kak Rehan. I think Wendy, we can move on to announcements for the whole company. We'll be skipping the personal updates, but don't forget to fill it asynchronously, guys. So yeah, there's two announcements. First one will be delivered by Kak Shelin. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Okay, so two announcements on this one, yeah. The first one is actually on the commuting policy. So, okay, so this is actually valid for employees that's not doing field work. So let's say those who are not, let's say, GS, or maybe the content team, the photographer and stuff, PM as well. So we noticed that there's actually like sometimes a need for.
Oh wait, Shailin, could I give some context around this beforehand? Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay. For Shailin, I don't think this needs to be a policy. Okay, let's just set it as a warning and let people use their best judgment. Okay, and let me carry this for you for a second. Okay.
Okay.
So for those of you who work at Bukit Vista, it's come to my attention that sometimes we're not being very efficient with our time, and when we're not efficient with our time, then we cannot be strategic. I'll give you guys a few simple examples. If you're here during, let's say, regular work hours and you're unavailable because you're commuting to another region, okay, that's probably not the best use of your time, because somebody might have some strategic information they need to give to you before you're on your commute, okay? So before you use, let's say, company time to commute to an area that you know has a lot of traffic, okay, double check and ask yourself a simple question. Is that in the best interest of Bukit Vista before you make that trip, okay? If you can think about that and then realize this is not in the best interest of Bukit Vista, then don't go on the trip at all, okay? If you need to go on the trip and you have to go at that time, then go, okay? But if you could plan the trip to commute during an off time, the company will pay for an overnight stay for you to be in their area. Specifically, this means trips to Ubud and to Canggu from Jimbaran, okay? Because it takes 2 hours to get there, it takes 2 hours to get back, and it probably takes an hour just to rest and get recovering from all the commute and traffic back. So that's almost 5 hours of time that is just wasted from a single day of commuting into a region and out. If you're gonna commit to go there, stay 1 day, okay? That way you start the next day fresh, you don't have to like commute anymore, and you can stay in that market, okay? That's a business trip, all right? But don't just commute in, out during business hours, and then we're like, hey, where is this person? We can't find them anymore, okay? Not a good use of time, all right? So it doesn't need to be a policy yet, because I don't want to stop people from making necessary trips. That's not the idea. But I just want to raise awareness that it is wasteful of your own time And if you keep on doing that, then we will probably demote your base salary because it is just not a good use of your base salary time to be commuting back and forth all the time, okay? If we can all agree on that, then I think that's fine. No more discussion needed, no policy needed, okay, Furkan, Shailin? We don't need to make it into a policy. I think that we're all adults here. We've probably learned how to use our time wisely, okay? We'll assume everyone knows that. Okay, all right, so no policy needed, but just be aware that that's been a problem, and let's let it not be a problem anymore, okay? Sound good, Shailin? Okay, too many policies becomes heavy. Policy left, policy right, okay, all right. Okay, next one.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
That's good policy.
nice. Okay, so Bapak will note that on the meeting side, yeah. So take note for everyone who's actually like doing this kind of work, yeah, especially. And okay, this one is actually an update on the employee journals, which was actually announced the previous week on Slack. So we'll have quite a few changes actually in our monthly employee journal evaluation. So if you have a look in the announcement over here, so note that the evaluation, so we have a lot of, let's say, LPT metrics, right? We have 6 of them in total, so like knowledge management strategy and so on. And each one of you are actually like you can say customized to maybe 1, 2, 3, or like a couple of them in this case. So the details has been updated in each one of your employee journals. So the one that you need to do self-evaluation on is the one tagged in the employee journals. Yeah. So just to make it clear for everyone over here. And basically for this self-evaluation, you need to note 3 main things, these 3 main questions. So your contribution the past 1 month that is impactful to the company team or goals, or that has delayed effect or maybe latency. And the third one is the contribution that has little to no effect to the company or team goals. So these 3 questions are to be answered like in your employee journals. And basically later on, the upper manager as well as supervisor will do their part to like align or perhaps realign with the evaluation and so on. And then the approval will go. The bonus approval as usual. So you can ask on us anything for more like further details on that one, or you can reach me out as well if you have any questions. Okay, so that will be all from my announcement. So yeah, semangat guys, evaluation is on the corner, and I'll give it back to Sarah perhaps, or maybe to Mr. Jing.
Okay, let me pick this up again and kind of frame it the way I'd like to frame it as an executive, okay? Back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of the all hands, we want to simplify things, not make things too complicated, right? Because sometimes innovation is simplicity and removing, okay? So on everybody's current employee journals from the past few months, you have all the vision, upper management, knowledge management, all that stuff in, okay? So Shailin and Furkan, I'm going to simplify this. It should just be primarily 1. Okay, 1 particular leadership metric that you are currently evaluated on, depending upon what your position in the company is. All right, so that makes it really easy. You will then write first into your journal what you think you've been doing according to that particular scope of work. Okay, according to your leadership level, according to what you're doing. The reason we're asking you to do that is so that we need visibility, and also we need to see if you understand if you're doing your job. Okay. One of the leading problems in the company is that people who have been recently promoted or whatever, they are actually not doing their job. They're not doing their current job. They're doing their previous job. Okay. And there's a few things that we've been seeing that is good evidence that's happening. Okay. All right. One more thing. Let me tie it back up to core values again. So just earlier, I asked for Khan to remove one of the core values, and I'm probably going to have to give some comments on 2 more core values here. Okay. So listen. Any of you who are being mentioned right now, the core value recognition, please don't see this as a personal attack. I know, whatever, there could be shame and anything because we're all here together. But core values need to be spoken about publicly, understood by everyone. And I hope we can all go through and understand the positive transformation. Okay. So you guys trust me? Talk about core values. Don't take it personally. Yeah. Okay. All right. It's pretty important. All right. So there's a few core values here that I'd like to give some critical feedback and probably remove from core value recognition, okay? Bella, I think you already saw it, right? we should not actually expect people to come in when they are working on their holidays, because if we start doing that, then nobody will ever have a holiday again and people will burn out. Yes, we do appreciate that people take responsibility, and sometimes this goes into their free time, okay? But I think as leaders, as strategic leaders, we should ask that people plan their duties around those particular events that they need to be there for. Either they plan their holidays over the event, okay, so that happens over, but not mixing it together, okay? They should plan, let's say, an automation beforehand, before they go on holiday, or after, or move their holiday to a different day. But I think it's really, really important for everybody's long-term well-being to separate your holiday life from your work life, okay? Nobody likes to be bothered when they're on holiday to be called back into work. It's not very relaxing or restful, okay? That, Shaylin, I think should be a company policy, all right? When you're at rest, remain at rest. When you're at work, remain at work. Don't mix the two together, okay? Consistent with what I just said about the whole commuting to different areas, right? If you're at work, then you're at work to do work, not going on a little holiday during work hours to another region, right? So that is number one. Number two, this is actually Hafiz. Hafiz, same issue. We removed one of your core value recognitions to Nadia, okay? I asked for Khan to do that. And the reason is Nadia is a manager right now. She should not actually be filling in to do work of photography. That's a manager doing execution work. As a manager, Nadia should be thinking about who to delegate to do that, okay? For a person to reward their manager for doing an execution job is, I'm sorry to say, that's false recognition, creates false honor. And then if Nadia accepts that, then now she's also feeling rewarded for not actually behaving as a manager, okay? So that should also not be recognized. Be careful when you guys do that. That leads to bad cultural values. Once again, same issue as with Bella. I know you understand that it's important to have responsibility. That's great, but responsibility has to be done in the correct leadership way such that it doesn't become bad culture over time, okay? Nadia, for the one with Matthew, okay? If he's doing it just because he wants to do it, he's not guided, that's also unmanageable, right? Because he might also not do something because he doesn't feel like doing it either. So I think in any particular case where we're talking about management, give core value recognition when it's under control. But if it's something that somebody's volunteered to do, either promote them and give them more responsibility to do it during those times, or don't recognize it because it's not under your control, okay? Now, these are very important leadership lessons that are good for everybody. That's why I want to share to everybody, okay, as well. And we all make them, okay? So be ready for this to happen. What's most important is that everybody understands these principles and they just balance everyone out, right? So you know, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't recognize that, right? Because that my intention is good, but then the end cultural effect could be something that is, something that we don't want to necessarily have. Shaylin, you're in charge of compliance and employee retention. Burnout from having to work during off hours causes that. The burnout caused by managers doing their team's work also causes burnout. These are some of the leading reasons why people are not retained, because they have to do somebody else's job, okay? And they're not getting paid for it either. So, and they have to work during times when they don't have to work, and they're not getting paid for that either, right? So if we really want to actually have long-term, I think, retention and compliance, then let's respect off time as off time, okay? And let's work when we need to work and not work when we don't need to work, okay? And let's make sure the right person is doing the right job so that we're all happy, okay? Nobody should be doing somebody else's job. All right, that's it. Back to Sarah.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Jing. I think after this, we can close our all hands session. So I'll deliver it back to Wendy for closing.
Okay, guys, I think that's all for our all hands meeting for today. Yeah, that's all. Have a great day and semangat semuanya.
Okay, see you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Great weekend.
Semangat everyone. Have a good week.